It's been so long since I've made a video on this channel. I want to start off by saying that if you're still here, thank you so much for your support. If you are like, who is this person? It's usually because the videos I did were cleaning or traveling, stuff like that. But welcome to my channel. If you want to leave, that's perfectly fine. I completely understand. But if you're staying and you want to know what's going on with me and want to know more about me, I would greatly appreciate it. And I appreciate this support, but definitely stay. Make sure to like the channel and subscribe to the channel, or like the video and subscribe to the channel if it resonates with you. So this is pretty much a rebrand. The channel used to be Journey with Trey, and it used to be all about traveling. I'm still going to be posting videos about that. However, it's a different kick to it. And I want to explain this because of the title. I have learned over time that catchy titles is what gets the click. So before somebody tries to get this video and does a review on it and only wants to watch like the first 3 minutes of it and have this whole, the opinion about what they think I am or who they think I am or whatever, I'm going to explain myself. So, the last time that I was here on this channel, y'all, I was in a 10-year relationship, and that relationship or marriage has now ended, and it ended on both of our parts. Like, we both agreed to it. So I'm going to go into that and go further into that. The channel is now about me being a new empty nester because I'm going to kind of go backward. I have 3 children, and they're from my previous marriage. So the first 2 are older. They're young adults. They are self-sufficient. They're on their own, and they live on their own and pay their own bills and all of that. The third one, he just turned 18 in April, and he just graduated from high school in May. So with that being said, the marriage that I was in that has now ended because we both realized our relationship and our marriage and our lifestyle was not of God. It was outside the will of God. What do I mean? I was in a 10-year homosexual relationship, homosexual marriage. And this is not to bash on anybody who is part of the LGBT community. Trust me, we were part of that. We both were in it for over 20 years. And so we know what it's like to be a part of the community. We know what it's like to not, feel accepted in the church or by people who go to church and all of that. We know all of that. What happened was we were both studying spirituality together. And in the midst of that, we were doing a lot of research, and we came across a few people that were preaching the Bible, the actual Bible, okay? We still hadn't stepped foot in a church yet. We still haven't, even to this day. But a lot of our research and our studying and stuff has been online, has been through YouTube, has been on TV. We started watching certain pastors. We started praying together more. And again, it started off with spirituality. We started off like watching Billy Carson. If y'all don't know who he is, go ahead and check him out. He talks about the Anunnaki and all of that. It just sparked our interest into why are we here? Where did we come from? From that, we started watching Celestial, the Prophet. We actually got the Ethiopian Bible and started reading it, the Book of Jasher and all of that. We then started watching Pastor Omar Tebow. And y'all, all the way till now, we both realized we no longer want to live in this lifestyle. We prayed about it. We kept praying. We prayed together. We prayed separately and realized that we were living outside of the will of God. Now, again, this isn't to bash anybody else. This is our own experience. And I think that's about all that I'm going to say about her. The only other thing is that y'all might have seen a little kid running around in my videos. And he is pretty much like my stepchild now. And it's crazy because my ex-partner and I had been so much in the lifestyle So much that we did reciprocal IVF. He is her biological child, and I carried for her. So we realize now how much there's confusion in that. We realize how much we had been deceived. But God always, takes the things that were meant for our harm and turns it into something good for us. So at this time, he is in our divorce and everything. She has taken custody of him, full custody. And it was a struggle. It was a struggle because, you know, when you're deceived by the enemy, you don't realize that what you're doing and the life that you're living is wrong, and or is not of God, until something happens and you realize this is not what God wanted in the first place. Like this pain and the harm and all of that we're feeling is not what God wanted for either of us. So with that being said, she with our divorce and our separation and all of that, she is taking full custody of him. Now that doesn't mean I don't ever get to see him. I still talk to him every day. I can see him at any time if I want to, or if he wants to see me, stuff like that. So we're trying to make it to where things don't change, but more so that the family dynamic has changed to where she is the primary, she's now the only parent with him. And she has way more support than I and my family, my side of the family, could have ever given him. If I would have taken him full on, it would have been so hard. It would have been a complete struggle for me by myself to deal with him. And I don't have as much support as she does. She has way more support. So this was the best decision for everybody. Now, how does he feel? He misses me, and he says he thinks that I'm scared. I'm going to be scared and alone and stuff. But I always assure him that I am just fine. I'm here. I'm here if you need me, and all of that. But we don't want to cause any more confusion with him, But so anyway, now my third one from my previous marriage just turned 18. I assumed that after he graduated high school that he was going to want to move back to Washington with me. I had this whole plan of we're going to leave the South because we're currently in the South. I don't have any family here. My ex-partner, all of her family is here and everything. And I was like, I am planning to move back to the West Coast, to Washington State, where my family is. And I'm assuming that my 18-year-old is going to come with me. And he said no. And when I say that, this is the first time he's ever resisted anything I said. It's not that I asked him for a lot. I always felt like he was my little goofball son, like we were pranksters. We would prank on each other. We would sing songs together. He would teach me about mumble rap, and I would teach him about El DeBarge and stuff like that, right? We would go on road trips to his football camps, and we'd sing real loud. I mean, this was just, he's my buddy's son. And this was the first time when I said, all right, we're going to head on back to Washington as soon as you graduate. And he said no. He said he was not going to go. Even to the point that he went and told his friends, and his friends all said, we are not letting you go. You're not going. They all got together, got a house, and he has officially moved in with them. He's it's him and two other roommates, and they are two of his best friends. So he's got a lot of friends and stuff, but these two are, two of his best friends. And they're all going into the same career field, which is paramedic and firefighting. And I just couldn't believe it. I was like, wait a minute, I thought that, this goes to show you that whatever plans we have, God has something different. So this is what ultimately led me to becoming a brand new empty nester. We ended up downsizing. My ex-partner moved away. She's now an hour away with our little one, or her little one. And they're just an hour away. And I'm still currently in the same city, but I have downsized in my living situation. And because I thought it was a go. I thought that we were moving to Washington, and it turns out it wasn't. So I had to make a quick decision. And so now here I am. I am in a brand new empty nester. I don't ever, y'all, my older kids are like, Mom, you need to go travel. You need to go do all the things you said you've always wanted to do. You need to go, and it's so hard for me because for so long, over 20 years, every decision I made has been centered around my kids, and in the last 10 years, it was centered around my ex partner and her child. And it was like no matter what I decided to do or what I wanted to do or whatever, I always had to think about other people or think about somebody else before I thought about myself. And now I'm in a situation where the only person I think about is me. I'm responsible just for myself, you know, making sure that I get clothed, making sure I get fed. And it's kind of, I'll even text my 18-year-old because I'm thinking, dude, like it's not like you're a state away from me. Like we're in the same state. And he's, Mom, I'm about to have some friends over. I'll talk to you later. All of this. I mean, everybody has, y'all, everybody has moved on with their life. And so I took it kind of hard at the beginning. But I'm starting to, I guess, kind of question what is it that I want to do? What do I want to do? And not so much that, but I feel like there's still a lot of healing that needs to take place. You know what I mean? I am in no way, form, or fashion trying to get into another relationship. That is the last thing that I ever want to do. I am trying to figure out what is it that I like? What is it that I want to do? What are the things I've always wanted to do? I know that I've always wanted to travel. And my daughter is really big on that. She's like, Mom, you've always said you want to travel to different countries. You need to go ahead and start planning trips. And it's just hard because it's like usually I'll have somebody I could talk to about planning something. And now it's like, no, it's just me, just go ahead and plan it, and but I don't know. So anyway, this is where I am right now. This is the very first video of my rebranded channel. This is what I'll be talking on here. As y'all can see, if you look in the bio, it is about me being a brand new empty nester, about healing, starting over, and then also like budgeting, because now it's different. I'm still having to budget for like trips, budget for savings, stuff like that, whatever, and travel. Still want to do travel, and that's the motivation, is the travel part. That's what I'm ultimately going to be using to motivate me, to keep going on this channel and all that. I have another channel, y'all, but it is just a talk, rambling type channel. I talk about different subjects, different topics and stuff like that. And the audience there is absolutely not the audience that I would think want to hear about this type of stuff. Because I think a lot of them are people who are younger. They're not empty nesters. They're not family people, stuff like that. So I'm just going to try to keep that channel separate. And if they find me on here, then they find me on here. If they want to listen, they can. But aside from that, this is the start of it, y'all. This is the start of this channel. This is the start of a new chapter in my life. This is a start of, and again, the whole divorce and everything was not on bad terms. We just both realized we were not living right. And we realized that we think that's why there was a lot of confusion, a lot of chaos within our relationship. And so we both still read the Bible. We still pray. We still talk to each other about the scriptures and try to figure the scriptures out and do research. We still watch Pastor Omar Tebow on YouTube and all of that. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and go because my battery is dying out. And if you want to know more about it, my journey, if you want to watch my journey, if you want to get to know more about me, if you resonate with this video, make sure to, or if you have any questions or anything like that, just go ahead and put them in the comments. Let me know what y'all think. And make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and share. And I will talk to y'all later. Bye.